everybody, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Leading off the show today is AMC Movie News production manager, Dennis Zen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of AMC Movie Talk. As you can see, I've decided to dress up as my pop figure today.
Gosh, that's adorable.
Ray made these awesome pop figures for us. I want to remind you guys that we are going to be having a meet and greet at Comic-Con this year, July 10th. I think that's a Friday. I think we are good. I don't think we have a place yet, but I think we're going to do it around 6 o'clock to 7 that day. So remember, follow me on Twitter at ThinkHero. We're going to make a Facebook invite and invite as many people as possible. So come out and see us.
Also here, writer-director John Schnepp.
Hey, everybody. I also have my very special Ray Aura pop figure designed thing. And look, it's totally detailed.
Thank you to Raymundo for doing that.
Yeah.
And are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are recording.
Okay.
All right, first story. Deadline is reporting that movie titles under the DC Vertigo imprint, including Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Sandman, will be moved from Warner Brothers to their smaller genre-focused label, New Line Cinema. However, The Hollywood Reporter is claiming that the Justice League Dark film, which features several characters that have appeared in Vertigo comic books, will stay with Warner Brothers, and that Guillermo Del Toro, who has long been thought to be directing the project, is no longer attached. Dennis, what is your take on the Vertigo move and Guillermo Del Toro's exit from the Justice League Dark movie?
Well, with Vertigo moving to New Line Cinema, I guess they want to differentiate themselves from the DC universe and Warner Bros. I'm assuming something like a Sandman is not going to be part of the DCU. I think it's okay move, though. With New Line Cinema, I know they did the Lord of the Rings and they did The Hobbit, but I always associate them with kind of like those schlocky horror B movies that come out every year that are like, it costs them $5 or $10 million that they're trying to like hopefully hit for like 40 or 50 million, make a profit. So as far as Guillermo del Toro leaving Justice League Dark, it's actually not surprising. He has a million things on his plate. He's been talking about this for so long, and there's never been any actual movement on it. So him leaving, I'm surprised though that they're going to keep doing it, and they're actually making it part of the DC universe. It's not going to New Line Cinema. It's going with the DC universe. So I'm not so sure how that's going to work, because I find it even riskier than something like Guardians, because these characters are, kind of like a hodgepodge of a bunch of different characters, a team together. I know. Schnepp, what do you think?
Well, I like the idea of them separating Sandman from the rest of the DC universe. Just because it's such a standalone title anyway, the way Neil Gaiman wrote it. So that makes sense. Preacher, I know they're doing a series now, but if it ever went to a film, if they brought Constantine back, or if they brought some of these, more crazy, multi-dimensional, demon-infested kind of characters or whatever. But with Justice League Dark, I really don't know which characters now they're going to use. I mean, it would make sense for them to use. Plus, Justice League Dark, I don't know. I've never really liked that title. Mm-hmm. I mean, I heard somewhere that they were maybe calling it Dark Universe, which is also kind of a weird title. So until they figure out something, just they have Dr. Fate, Swamp Thing, a whole bunch of these other kinds of Zatanna, all these different characters that could fit into that kind of DC hero world. But I think it's a smart move to move Sandman to New Line and just let it be what it has to be. So.
Christian?
Yeah, I agree. I think that it makes sense to move it over to New Line because it becomes less confusing, and it's absolute. You say, well, anything over there, it's not part of the DCU. Mm-hmm. So then as a fan, you go, okay, that makes sense. I can just watch it as a standalone. And I remember asking you on Movie Talk a while ago, do you think Sandman would be part of the DCU? And you said, no, I don't think it will. And this is kind of confirming that for sure. As far as the Justice League Dark, yeah, that's interesting that they would make it part of the DCU, because I'm curious how they're going to do that. But I'm with you as far as the New Line thing goes to make me nervous. Also, not just because of the horror stuff, because they've put out a lot of bad comedies and stuff lately too. They haven't had the best track record lately. So Sandman going over there as far as a quality standpoint makes me a little nervous, but we'll see what happens and how it's developed, because the source material is so good anyway. But as far as Del Toro leaving, I think that we might, although I don't know, it's me just guessing, we might have an Edgar Wright situation too, because if they are going to put it part of the DCU and he can't have his complete stamp on it and he's got to go a separate way, then maybe he's going, no, it's okay, guys. I'm going to go, like you said, Dennis, figure out the stuff I'm working on right now, do that, and maybe not be part of so held down to what this DCU has to look like.
I don't think they're going to change the name, though, for Justice League Dark, just because they know this is going to come after the big Justice League movies, and they're going to try and use that name as much as possible.
I don't think. I'm just saying I don't like the name.
Okay.
Because that's why they're keeping it in Warner Brothers, because it's called Justice League something. If it was called Justice League Mellow Yellow, it'd still be
yes.
Justice
I'd
League
see
Rainbow
that,
Squad still be stuck over, and they wouldn't move it. So.
I want to be part of Justice League Mellow Yellow. All right, what's next?
A couple weeks ago, when the Ghostbusters reboot starring Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones began shooting, some leaked photos from set circulated online. In those pics, the cast were seen wearing their characters' everyday clothes and not their Ghostbusters uniforms. Yesterday, director Paul Feig took to Twitter to give us this first look at the uniforms. He tweeted this photo showcasing the new look with the caption, #WhoYouGonnaCall. Now this morning, he released another pic, this time featuring the iconic proton pack. Ghostbusters opens in AMC theaters on July 22nd, 2016. Schnepp, what do you think of the new Ghostbusters uniforms and proton pack?
Mark Ellis likes them. I noticed Mark Ellis doesn't have any eyebrows. Sort of like the Terminator. Maybe he's a T-8050. What I think about it? I think
that's what we do here, Schnepp.
Is this on? Is the sound on?
We're recording.
Are we recording? All right, just double checking on this very special episode of AMC Movie Talk, people. I love the new outfits. I think they look great. They're energized. They're orange. Can't wait to see those ladies in them. Capturing ghosts.
Yeah.
Christian.
I like them. I think it's kind of old school. It reminds me of the Ghostbusters. It's updated, but you still feel like it's Ghostbusters. But what I think this is Paul Feig, and this is a bad, I guess, hospital term, but stop the leak, or beat the leak. It looks like this. They just said, let's put these things out. We're gonna eventually they're gonna be seen in these costumes. So instead of people taking pictures, we're gonna do it first, you humps. And that's exactly what they did. Paul Feig did it first, and it's good for them.
And also, they kept the spirit of the original costumes and the proton packs. They didn't make them too different because they already know all the controversy over people getting upset that it's females now instead of males. And so imagine if they came out and it was like, okay, the Ghostbusters uniforms are now orange or yellow or something. People would flip out.
True. It's old school. What do you think the percentage are that we're going to see female Ghostbusters at Comic-Con cosplay?
Oh,
yes. I certainly hope so. That'd be amazing.
I think we're seeing
Someone start building those outfits now.
There's always Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Every time I've ever gone to Comic-Con, there's a pack of Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
I've never seen female Ghostbusters. Yeah.
You got 10 days, ladies. Let's do it.
We just gave you your idea. You win, we get a check.
I hope they actually come up with a story, like a funny story of how they get the costumes, made them, or like maybe a Kate McKinnon's character creates them or something like that. Because they really look like maintenance worker type of outfits. I mean, that's what they're kind of doing, right? They're kind of cleaning out the ghost and all the supernatural stuff. So, all right, let's move on to buy or sell. Ashley, what do we got?
The first trailer for I Am Chris Farley, the documentary about comedic star Chris Farley, was released yesterday. Farley first broke out in television on SNL, where he appeared for many years. Through that success, he was able to transition to the big screen in several movies such as Tommy Boy, Black Sheep, Wayne's World, and Billy Madison. Chris Farley died in 1997 at the age of 33 due to a drug overdose. In the trailer, many of Farley's friends, including Adam Sandler, David Spade, Dan Aykroyd, Bob Odenkirk, Jay Moore, Lorne Michaels, Bob Saget, Molly Shannon, Tom Arnold, and Christina Applegate all talk about his comedic talent and him as a person. I Am Chris Farley opens in limited theaters on July 31st. Christian, buy or sell this trailer for I Am Chris Farley?
Oh, big buy for me. Farley is one of my all-time favorites. I was a big early Saturday Night Live fan. I mean, even I guess early John Belushi, but from where he was, he reminded me of Belushi, of what he did, and one of his idols was Belushi, and he was just you hear it in the trailer, and you knew that about Farley is that energy and that natural talent, and with the demons, it's like a lot of these guys, and to watch these talents that are talking about him, and even watching Bob Saget choke up about it. Not even even that little piece, there's going to be a lot of heartfelt people that worked. What's crazy is that it's been almost 18 years since he died. That's nuts. That's crazy to me. He's been gone for that long. But I'm very interested in watching this documentary just because he's one of my all-time favorites, and I want to learn a little bit more about him, and I want to see him appreciated, and it's, anytime that someone like that goes so young and so talented and had that many, I love that they acknowledge that the fact that the fame was too much, all that stuff, the way that they just of what he was going through. It's not just going to be this fluff piece. It's going to be who this man was and what he went through. Yeah,
I'm going to buy it as well. I grew up, with that kind of crew of Saturday Night Live, him and Phil Hartman, and I still those two guys are guys that like I forget they've passed away because they died so young and they were such a big part. They were in so many movies and TV shows and stuff like that. You're right. I like that they address the weight of the fame and the money that may have led to his death, and how it's not going to be all like a big love fest, you know? I mean, obviously they loved him. They think he was totally talented, but they probably, hopefully, will talk more about that side. That way people don't, you know, it's not, like a fluff piece. John?
Yeah, I definitely buy this as well. I think Chris Farley is one of the super talents, also died very young, just like Belushi. And it's like, I don't know, it's a bummer, but I definitely see, I know they're going to get into it, but it's like, I'd rather them celebrate him and talk about all the cool things about his performance, his career, his life, him being I've heard so many amazing stories. I know a lot of these people and they've told me a lot of just personal stories. What a great and nice, kind guy he was. So whatever dark side he had, he also had a really big heart, you know, and always makes me laugh. I love his just giant mannerisms.
Yeah,
and anything he does, just his mannerisms were just instantly funny. And he played all these different kinds of characters, but still kind of based around his giantness.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm sure I'll cry.
That Matt Foley SNL sketch, the motivational speaker, the I live in a van down by the river. Yeah. I mean, that's a classic.
Or the quotations.
He was one of the best. Him and Greg the Hammer Valentine were the two best people who ever been able to just fall down like straight like
amazing fallers.
So good.
Yes.
Yeah. But way better than Chevy Chase.
Oh yeah, he's the best.
He kind of took that away from him, took the title.
Isn't it crazy just from that trailer of how much you learned from him just in that trailer? Like I think, and I'm curious to see what you guys think by watching this trailer, is that just in that 2-3 minutes, like you said, the big heart, the demons, you know, how respected he was. You learned so much just in that trailer. So I can only imagine in the full movie how much we're really going to learn about him.
And see who like his friends were, because you know I don't know much about his personal life, so I didn't know he was friends with all those other comedians. Right. I just see him interacting with Saturday Night Live guys, and you know, seeing someone like a Christina Applegate or Bob Saget up there. It's I'm looking forward to this movie. All right, what's next?
Last week, the third Star Trek movie in the rebooted franchise began shooting. Now, director Justin Lin has confirmed the title of the film as Star Trek Beyond, as he tweeted out this close-up pic of the Starfleet logo patch with the caption, "Let the next Starfleet voyage begin, # Star Trek Beyond, # LLAP. Star Trek Beyond opens in AMC theaters on July 8th, 2016. Dennis Barisal, the official name for the next Star Trek movie.
I buy it. It's been rumored for the longest time, so it's not a big surprise that it's finally confirmed. When I saw that # LLAP at first, I was like, what is that? I was like, oh, wait, that's live long and prosper. Duh. I just never seen it in that form before. Sure. Last week, they also announced that Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto have signed on for the fourth film, but the other cast members haven't yet. What do you think, Christian?
I buy it. I think that, like you said, we've been talking about this on this show for like the last 2 months, and it makes sense, especially from where they left off in the last film. They're going to finally explore beyond even what they knew was out there, so it makes complete sense. I just hope that they make it Star Trek-y. Like all the notes of it being too Star Trek-y is, I still think, silly. It's a Star Trek movie. So that being said, the title itself makes sense, and I'm a big buy.
Yep.
I wish they called it Star Trek Beyond Star Trek, because then it would just get really meta. Maybe they could have Chekhov in it. They go inside another wormhole. I'll buy it. You know, I want to see what Simon Pegg came up with. I know they got rid of Orsi because his script was too Star Trek-y.
Yes.
So now here's another Star Trek movie, but it's called Beyond. I don't know if it's going to be like a Batman Forever, Star Trek Beyond, or is this like Beyond that they're actually going on the 5-year mission, but it's all contractually based on how many more episodes Chris Pine and
this is the Fast and Furious version, though. They're going to have
That's right. Yeah.
Vin Diesel in a car.
A lot of chasing, aliens chasing each other, chugging drinks and going inside like Guardians of the Galaxy, like hanging out and fighting each other.
It's all about family.
I don't have aliens. About family. Starfleet Academy, it's about family, yo.
Want to jump that starship, bro?
What's next?
A trailer has come out for the thriller Secret in Their Eyes, starring Chiwetel Ejiofor, Nicole Kidman, and Julia Roberts. The movie is a remake of the 2009 Argentinian film of the same name, directed by Juan Jose Campanella. This version, directed by Bill Ray, is about 3 FBI agents played by Ejiofor, Kidman, and Roberts, whose lives and relationships are torn apart by a brutal murder. Many years later, they revisit the case in order to get justice, but discover things aren't as they seem. Secret in Their Eyes comes comes out on October 23rd, 2015. Jeanette, buy or sell this trailer for Secret in Their Eyes.
I'm gonna buy it. Is this directed by the same guy who did Prisoners?
No.
Because it is so depressing and dark and like, what a bummer. I mean, just the first like 30 seconds, you're like, oh my God, Julia Roberts, I want to be next to you when you kill that dude. Yeah, it looks messed up, but I want to see it. The star power in it is incredible. It looks like a really heart-wrenching, horrifying story. And I really, after just seeing that trailer, I want to see what happens. So
I buy it as well. When I read the synopsis, I was like, oh, it didn't sound that interesting. It seems like something we'd seen before, but then we kind of find out a little bit more and find out who was actually murdered and how they're connected to the 3 FBI agents. Yeah, great cast. They're all Oscar winners or Oscar nominated actors, so that's good for that. It's one of those movies that have that hook, kind of like Prisoners or something like even a Taken, where it's like, what would you do? You know, in that situation, how far would you go?
I would call The Punisher immediately. I'd be like, yo, it's outside of the law right now.
Yes.
Immediately.
And take down everyone.
Well, not everyone, Dennis. Come on. I'm not insane. Just that person who did that, you know.
I don't think the Punisher would stop at one person now. Christian, what do you think?
I buy it. Yeah, I agree with you guys. It was really chilling to watch. But you know, I got to give, even though the talent is going to make this movie for sure, I got to give a lot of credit to Julia Roberts in this thing, because we forget, because she's such a big star, that how great of an actress she is. And the fact that she's going into a more vulnerable role here and is not front and center. She's a piece. She's a very important piece of this movie, but she's not front and center. Like 10 years ago, she'd probably have that Nicole Kidman role. I mean, they're probably around the same age or so, but she'd probably have that more of that role, and that role would probably have to be juiced up more. But the fact she didn't look glamorous. She looked like, I believed her as a mom. I forgot that it was Julia Roberts.
Same here.
Yeah,
I felt like, boy, like just from that trailer, I was like, if she keeps that kind of like emotional intensity, she's gonna like just get a supporting actress role, Oscar. Like it feels like that's
it's true. And even this, like we were just talking about with the Farley trailer, this didn't give away too much in this trailer. There was a lot that I got from it, and I understood the dynamic between her and Ejiofor. I learned what Kidman's role was in this thing, and I want to, like you said, I don't know if I'll be able to watch this movie more than once, because it's probably going to be so tough to watch just because of the subject matter in general.
Ask little tiny Mark Ellis what he thinks.
I want to see it. Ellis, why so loud?
It's also directed by Bill Ray, who did Shattered Glass, which I actually liked.
With Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, that's the kind of the movie where I point to as like, yeah, he actually can act.
He was great in that.
Yeah,
Hayden Christensen. He was awesome in that.
Yeah.
So what's next?
A trailer for 10,000 Saints starring Asa Butterfield, Hailee Steinfeld, Ethan Hawke, Emile Hirsch, and Emily Mortimer has been released. The film is about a teenage kid, Jude, played by Asa Butterfield, that lives in a small town in Vermont who gets sent to live with his estranged father, Les, played by Ethan Hawke, who lives in New York City. The movie is being directed by the American Splendor directing duo Sherry Springer Berman and Robert Pulcini. Christian, buy or sell the trailer for 10,000 Saints.
I'm going to buy it, but I can see myself either really loving this movie or looking at the screen afterwards going, emo. You know, like either one, because it's trying really hard to be like emo, but it's also looking like it could be a very great movie with a lot of good performances and make you go, well, wait a minute, that was a really heartfelt performance from Butterfield, from Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke pretty much looks like the same character he played in Boyhood.
Yes,
right.
which is fine. If that's what he's doing and that's what's working right now, because I like it obviously worked in that 12 or 13 year period for Boyhood. Now for the year that it probably took to film this movie, looks like he's going to create a nice relationship between him and Butterfield. And then I'm a big fan of Steinfeld as well too. So to see all those actors together in this type of role in the coming age story, and I want to see what Butterfield can do more. I mean, now I was actually interested in him playing Spider-Man, but we're going to see a lot of him, I think. So this particular movie looked good to me. It looks something I want to see.
Snap.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. Like watching this, I was like, oh, this was his tryout role for Spider-Man. Like, because it was Andrew Garfield, emo Spider-Man. I was like, I could see him doing that. But you know, whether or not he's playing Spider-Man or not, it doesn't matter. It looks like this film, to me at least, looks like a good coming of age story. I like seeing Ethan Hawke play the dad. I like that little end scene. It made me laugh. All the characters feel like they're fully rounded, like they're fleshed out. It's just not an ABC after school special or something. It feels like an actual real movie about real people, kind of like trying to figure out how to make life work. So I'm in it, so I'll buy it.
I like the cast. I like all of them. Even Emile Hirsch, who I haven't seen in much stuff.
Yeah, totally.
I'm selling this trailer, man.
really?
Not because I don't think it might be good. It's just that character that Asa Butterfield is playing is so annoying to me.
You didn't like that floopy hair, like
I
right in the
wanted
middle
to
of his
cut
face?
that hair the whole time because there's shots in the trailer where he just has like regular hair and
Sure.
there's others where it just hangs right here. I
right.
just want to take scissors and just to like
Go to your room. I know, but he's doing that just to annoy you, Dennis. He's like, I know it
think
really
so.
bothers you, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
But just the
live
character-
long and prosper,
Fight
yo.
the system.
Starfleet Academy forever, son. Beyonder.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Is this recording, Jonathan? Okay. Just
But the character, he just seems annoying and whiny, like from the trailer. Now there might be more depth to that once we see the movie, but just from the trailer, it just seems like that. And if this was his audition for Spider-Man, maybe they watched it and they're like, yeah, he's coming off way too whiny. We don't
maybe
want
Kevin
that as our-
Feige was like, can I just cut that little floopy thing off with these scissors? No, Kevin, it's a movie. All right, he's not Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
That's probably what
All right, guys, that's it for buy or sell. Now on to the mailbag portion. You can email us at AMC.
Did you just say you could emo us at?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
think that's
Emo.
emos in your head.
Emo.
I think you like the trailer a little too much. You can email us at AMC Movie Talk at gmail.com where we answer a few of your questions. Ashley, what do we got?
Sam Hobson writes, greetings AMC crew. This message comes all the way from South Yorkshire, England. I watch your channel every day and you have changed my overall perspective on movies in an amazing manner. My question to you is, what are your favorite British films of all time? Thanks and keep up the great work.
Well, the number one for me is obvious. I always talk about Lawrence of Arabia. Love that film. But there's some other ones that sometimes you don't know, like Clockwork Orange, I guess is considered a British film. Moon is considered a British film, even though it stars Sam Rockwell. A few other ones. Yeah, Shaun of the Dead. What are some of yours, Schnepp?
I really liked Long Good Friday. I liked Gangster Number One. Anything that Guy Ritchie did, like pretty much, like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Snatch, yeah.
Yeah, I had Snatch on there. I had Lawrence of Arabia. Train Spotting was one. The Bridge on the River Kwai,
Yes.
which I guess everybody saw when they were in school, and that was one that always stuck with me. The original Get Carter, obviously.
Yeah.
Full Monty, and what about Bond? James.
James,
horrible
from
English
South
accent.
Yorkshire, right,
Yeah,
mate?
so that's,
well, thanks for asking us all these British questions, mate.
Amo.
Amo.
I actually like Shallow Grave more than
Yes.
Train Spotting.
Oh, I love Shallow Grave.
That was the first Danny Boyle movie. Is that his first debut movie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, he might have one earlier than that no one knows about, but
Yeah.
that's the main
Train
one.
Spotting is the one that kind of put him on the
Yeah.
map.
Shallow Grave's great.
Yeah, and then, I forgot about this one. Fish Called Wanda, one of my
Oh,
favorite
yeah,
comedies
yeah,
of all time. I can
Totally.
watch that movie over and over and over again.
Yes.
All right, what's next?
Tyler Collis writes, hey guys, huge fan of the show, been watching for close to a year now. Up until recently, I had never seen any of Quentin Tarantino's films. I had always heard you guys rave about his work, so I proceeded to binge watch every film I could find of his on Netflix this past weekend. He's now my undisputed favorite filmmaker. My question to you guys is this: what is your favorite Quentin Tarantino film? What is your least favorite? My favorite would have to be Pulp Fiction, and my least favorite would probably be Kill Bill Volume 1. Thanks and keep up the great work.
Schnepp.
Boy, I really loved Reservoir Dogs. I can watch that. I mean, that one and Pulp Fiction, I'd have to say, are my favorites. I don't really have a one that I hate. I don't hate any of his films. I loved Inglourious Bastards. That one is like ultimately rewatchable, especially for the ending with like the movie theater in flames, shooting Hitler, just so satisfying. I don't know. Those are I don't hate any of them, but those are my favorites.
It's hard for me to pick like an all-time favorite because I actually disagree with the viewer. Kill Bill Volume 1.
I love
it's
that one.
amazing.
I love Kill Bill Volume 1. But Pulp Fiction and Inglourious Bastards and Reservoir Dogs, I don't know how to pick my favorite out of those. I love them so much. But if I had to pick one that I don't go back to watch as much, Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
And then even though he didn't necessarily direct Dusk Till Dawn, even though he had a part in it, but I know that that's one. And then
But he just wrote it.
he just wrote it. Yeah, I mean, because he actually wrote Natural Born Killers.
Yeah.
But what's the Death Race? Is that the one that he did?
But you know what?
Proof.
Death Proof.
Proof.
I
Death
just
Proof.
saw that again like a week and a half ago, and it's so
Is it-
awesome. It's so, you forget how great it is because
Yeah.
you saw it and you're like, it wasn't as good as the other ones. But then if you just watch it as a standalone movie, you're like,
great,
it's
yeah.
a fantastic film. film. It's so much
Yeah.
fun.
Well, that's why I agree with Schnepp, is that there's not many. There's nothing that I go, well, that was a turd.
No. I mean, definitely for me, Jackie Brown is the
Kurt
least,
Russell
least,
whining like a little baby at the end, and then those girls kicking his ass.
Yeah,
it's
I think-
unbelievable.
I think
It's
with-
unbelievable.
I think with Death Proof, it's just like it starts off kind of slow, where they're just talking, and
Totally.
chatting, and like
Yeah.
it builds and builds, and then the ending is
Yeah.
fantastic. It's weird. You talk about all his scripts. My favorite script of his is one that he didn't direct, which is True Romance.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I love
So
that
great.
movie. And then, oh man, it's like, yeah, I love Kill Bill Volume 1.
Jackie Brown does get a bad rap. I would go back and check that out
I
again.
probably
It's-
have to
it's
rewatch
so
it.
worth
Yeah.
watching again, because once again, when it first came out, it was just unlike Pulp Fiction, and we were all like, another Pulp Fiction.
Right.
It's totally different. It's such a different vibe. But watch it now and check out Robert Forster. I mean, just check out those actors.
Yeah, I haven't
now.
watched it in a while.
It's incredible. Michael Keaton, just the Robert De Niro, just a grumpy stoner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredibly nuanced. It's so much fun. It's just he was trying something different. I think so many people are like, "Where's our Pulp Fiction?" But it's pure Tarantino. It's like I said, I don't think he's got a stinker in the bunch.
Yeah,
So.
well, I really like Pulp Fiction, but it actually, for me, is only middle of the pack for Tarantino films. I actually like Reservoir Dogs more. It's
Yeah.
a movie that I saw, that I looked at and it's like, wow, this director took a very limited budget and made a fascinating story out of like what was like a few different locations that weren't very like big. He took some actors that, obviously you had Harvey Keitel, but like some of the other actors weren't well known,
Right.
and made something fascinating and
Put
interesting.
Tim Roth on the map.
Yeah, and just the dynamic between Harvey Keitel and Tim Roth is great, and it's all in the script and the direction. I think he's become a better director since then,
Yeah.
but that one will always hold a special place for me. And Ashley, have you watched any Tarantino
I
films?
was thinking my favorite would have to be, for sentimental value, Pulp Fiction, because it was my first movie I remember actually watching with my brother. We would watch it together. So I have a little bit of sentimental value there.
Oh.
La, la, la.
How old were you? Like 7 or something? Or?
I
When saw
was-
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, I was 4.
4 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard R Pulp Fiction. And Ashley Mova. What's all that?
Clearly, my parents didn't have too many rules as a child.
All right, guys, that's it for today's episode. I want to let you guys know that we're actually going to be taking a break for the rest of the week for movie talk for July 4th. I don't know if you guys have known, since John has resigned for the past few weeks, a lot of us here, myself, Jonathan, who you don't see, Bray, like everyone here has been kind of pulling a lot more weight here, doing a lot more work, and so we're going to take a little break where we will be shooting Heroes, so that will be up later today. Also, Christian, you're going to be doing Jedi Council from home this week.
Okay, so if you want to watch AMC Jedi Council, I am going to do a special episode from home. If you want to find out where that link is, just go to my Twitter on Thursday, and I will post it as soon as it's up, and then you can watch it.
You guys can find me just at John Schnepp and at TDOSLWH on Instagram and Twitter. And also, you guys should subscribe to my channel, Schnepp Zone, on YouTube to check out a lot of other crazy, exciting, fun activities on this very special AMC Movie Talk. It's been fun doing the show with you, Dennis.
Ashley, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Ashley Mova. Happy Tuesday, guys.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to say, if you live in LA, you can see The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened at the Egyptian, July 1st. That's tomorrow. We have a little special screening because a lot of people hadn't seen it like a month ago. So if you live in LA, you can go see The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened before we premiere it at Comic-Con next week. All these guys will be here. Go to tdoslwh.com and you can pre-order the movie. So
Yeah, and then you have it on VOD, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have the Blu-rays at Comic-Con.
Blu-rays and the DVDs will be there. We have 8 hours of bonus features. Kevin Smith talking about comics, just crazy madness. So it'll be fun.
Cool. And you guys can follow me on Twitter at ThinkHero, on Instagram, Dennis.tzng, or you can follow me on YouTube. That's ThinkHero Pro. Make sure to subscribe to the AMC Theaters YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/AMC Theaters. And we'll see you guys next week.